You see these hats back here? There are 10 hats and they represent 10 aspects of my work. Lately, one aspect of my work has been with artificial intelligence, and frankly, I'm uh, I'm dismayed or puzzled why so many people, friends of mine, people in my generation, are uncertain about artificial intelligence. And so I'm making this little videotape as an experiment. I have pre-recorded an interview, dialogue of myself with my currently favorite chatbot called Copilot. And I put it to Copilot what to do with this gallery. I'm 83, my wife too, and we're in good shape, but we have to look ahead. And I'm curious, what is the best thing for someone like us to do with this art gallery full of art? And so I put that question to her and recorded, documented our conversation. And I'm going to turn those questions, they're called prompts into statements. And then I'm going to convert those into synthetic voices that I've copied from another piece of software and try to make them sound like an actual give and take between one voice and another, really just for fun, but also to illustrate for you, people who are on my Facebook list and friends and so forth, why I'm not afraid of AI. And mind you, I know there are hundreds of ways artificial intelligence is being used for mathematics, for rocket science, for medicine, all that. And a chatbot is just one, dinky thing. But it's interesting to me because, well, I'll go into that sometime later. But let's see how this turns out. I'll turn this video into a kind of silent video with those two voices in the background and see how this experiment goes. I hope you'll stick around.
Hey, Bill, how's it going?
Let's dream up a little dream. I am 83 years old in good health, and my wife too is in good health. I mean, we own a little 300 square foot art gallery, and it's filled with my art dating from the 1960s. So, how could we sell this gallery, the real estate, and all its contents? Do you have any ideas?
Selling your gallery and its contents is a bold move. It could be interesting to find a buyer who appreciates the unconventional vibe of your work. How about pitching the sale as acquiring a historical art collection, emphasizing the rich history since the 1960s? Offer to provide some background stories or even training on how to market unconventional art. It could bridge the gap for a buyer who is more familiar with conventional styles. What do you think?
I like that idea for a start, but another thing is my wife and I have 2 daughters and a granddaughter I want to share with.
That's an interesting twist. Keeping it in the family with your daughters involved adds a personal touch. You could position the sale as not just buying an art collection, but also becoming part of a legacy with your daughters as curators or managers. It might appeal to a buyer interested in supporting a family business and passing on the torch to the next generation. It also ensures your daughters are involved in a way that's meaningful. How does that resonate with your vision?
Um, it resonates quite well. There's a word for it when one wants to keep something in the family. What's that word,
Maybe you're thinking of stewardship.
oh, trust. That's the word I'm looking for.
Great idea. A trust can provide a smooth transition and ensure that the gallery and the art collection are managed according to your wishes, with your daughters playing key roles. It could also offer protection and potentially favorable tax implications. Including this in your sales pitch could attract buyers looking for a structured yet flexible arrangement. Do you think this could work for your vision?
I think it could, Mur. But we also must keep in mind part of my legacy is that of a teacher, and I have hoped for years to somehow convert our gallery and artworks into shares in a viable teaching company that makes subscription boxes for learning printmaking.
Sounds like a fantastic way to extend your legacy. Transforming your family's gallery and art collection into producing educational printmaking kits can bridge back to your passion for printmaking and teaching. These kits could include materials, instructional guides, and even access to online classes. This could be not only a tribute to you and your wife's 60-year journey, but also develop into a valuable resource for schools, hobbyists, and homeschool. This could potentially be another layer in your trust, ensuring your art continues to inspire and educate. How's that sound to you?
This is a lot to think about. So I'm going to consider these things and maybe I'll get back to you. Thank you.
Well, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for that. The foregoing was made in a mini art gallery. Then I went across the street, and with Linda's help in our kitchen, I made this demonstration showing how I use AI Copilot using the voice control.
I'm here, Bill. What's on your mind?
Oh, I have this idea about making little toy, they're called fidgets, and they go on a refrigerator door, and I call them Fidgerator Presses. They're designed to look like etching presses I invented. What do you think of that idea?
That's a creative spin. Fidgerator Presses has a catchy ring to it. Miniature etching presses as fridge magnets could be a unique toy and conversation starter. How do you see them being used?
Well, what do you think of fidgets? Are they good for people?
Fidgets can be great for focus and anxiety relief. They offer a tactile experience that helps some people concentrate or manage stress. Plus, they can be fun and engaging. Do you find them helpful?
I do, and when I'm going to the refrigerator to get food or something. But I like the idea that they're made to look like printing presses that I designed. What do you think of the connection between printing presses and fidgets?
It's a cool blend of functionality and personal flair. The printing press design adds a unique artistic.
You're breaking up.
Hey, Bill, what's on your mind today?
Oh, you're back. Well, it doesn't always go so smoothly. Thanks for watching.